Champaign Street are scared after a man was hit by a bullet while lying in his bed. Good evening, I'm Jen Lask. Police say a 39-year-old man was shot early this morning. It happened on Sheffield Road in Champaign. WCIA 3's Andy Olson is live in the newsroom. Andy, you were in the area today. What have people who live close to where it happened been saying?
Well, Jen, one neighbor I talked to says they've lived on that street their whole life. But for years now, they've been troubled by more and more acts of violence happening too close to home. One person who lives on Sheffield Road says the area used to be a quiet community. Now they say the area is struggling with more and more violence. According to another neighbor who did not want to go on camera, police were called earlier in the week to the street. They heard what sounded like gunshots and an argument going on outside, but they weren't sure if that was at all connected to Saturday's shooting. 2 years ago, there was another shooting on the same street. Although no one was hurt during that one, it still put people who live there on edge. Champaign police say the man who was shot on Saturday was taken to a hospital. They say he did not have life-threatening injuries, and no arrests have been made yet. Of all the neighbors that I talked to, the most standout thing I heard is they just want the violence to stop. The police are still looking for help finding the shooter. They're asking for anybody with cameras or other assistance to contact Crime Stoppers. Live in the newsroom, Andy Olson, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Scary moment. All right. Thank you, Andy. Crews responded to a fire at a building that stored hazardous waste material. The property is in the 600 block of Curtis Road. You may have seen it blocked while crews on the scene were looking into the situation. Urbana Fire says the property used to be used as a storage space for hazardous materials. Now, PTI shooting range is further into the property. Urbana Fire says the building near the road is used as a storage space for plumbers and pipe fitters. And President Trump has nominated Judge Amy Coney Barrett to fill the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat. The 48-year-old is a favorite of religious conservatives for her anti-abortion views and a former clerk for the late Justice Antonin Scalia. If confirmed, Barrett would become the 6th justice on the 9-member court to be nominated by a Republican president and the 3rd of President Trump's first term in office. She's been a judge since 2017 when the president nominated her to the Chicago-based 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Barrett was the only candidate to meet with President Trump following Ginsburg's death. At the White House today, Barrett said she'd be mindful of the justice who came before her.
Particularly poignant to me was her long and deep friendship with Justice Antonin Scalia, my own mentor. Justices Scalia and Ginsburg disagreed fiercely in print without rancor in person.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate will vote in the weeks ahead on Barrett's confirmation. And a huge political battle now looms over that confirmation. Democrats want to wait until the presidential election is decided, like Republicans did in 2016. But Republicans have power in the Senate to confirm. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey is live in Springfield. Cole, how does Illinois' delegation feel about this nomination?
Jen, it is a clear partisan split when it comes to Amy Coney Barrett. Barrett served for 3 years on the bench in the U.S. 7th Circuit Court of Appeals in Chicago. Her time as a law professor at Notre Dame, she critiqued sitting Supreme Court Justice Roberts' decision in favor of the Affordable Care Act. And Illinois Senator Dick Durbin said that the president's nominee will likely attack the Affordable Care Act while on the Supreme Court bench. Republican Congressman Rodney Davis, before Barrett was nominated, said that the president should fill the vacancy before this coming election.
The bottom line is the process that is laid out in the Constitution is going to be followed. It has been followed in every instance.
Senator Tammy Duckworth said in a statement, with Barrett on the bench, quote, the court could roll back women's reproductive rights, greenlight more dark money in politics, jeopardize voting rights and civil rights for black and brown communities, and knock down any progress on climate action. Republican Congressman Darren LaHood also released a statement about the nominee, saying that it's her Midwestern common sense that will make her a great Supreme Court justice. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All eyes will definitely be on Washington, D.C. in the next month. Thank you, Cole. Former Illinois Governor George Ryan is releasing a book. It details his efforts to get rid of the death penalty in Illinois during his time in office. Ryan, who was sent to prison for corruption charges, spoke with WGN's Ben Bradley about his book and his time behind bars. The former governor feels his efforts led to changes in other states as well.
I don't know if we changed a lot of minds, but I know several states now that have abolished the death penalty, and some people say it was my actions that started it.
Bradley's interview with Ryan can be seen on tomorrow's episode of Capital Connection. Turning to the latest COVID-19 updates in Illinois, the Illinois Department of Public Health has announced 2,441 new confirmed cases of the virus, including 25 additional confirmed deaths. That brings the state's total to more than 286,000 cases, including 8,588 deaths. The preliminary 7-day statewide positivity rate is 3.6%. Some schools across the state are getting extra money to help kids attend class remotely. State money from the budget will go toward more technology. In total, $80 million will be spread to different school districts. Decatur is one of the schools getting money. They are getting almost $500,000.
You know, it's not a lot of money to school districts, but I think these types of grants in the middle of this pandemic, now that we have several weeks of the school year under our belt, are timely, and it's going to go a long way. I know that the districts are going to use the money wisely.
The money was distributed based on the district's adequacy levels in the state's evidence-based funding formula. Now to a news update. A couple of weeks ago, we told you about an animal hoarder who was found with dozens of Chihuahuas in 2 different homes. But this week, authorities found another building with more Chihuahuas in it. The Animal Protective League took them in and are preparing the dogs for adoption.
We knew we had to do it. You know, the community was really great the last time, and almost all of the ones that we got in that first round have gone to either foster homes or pre-adopt. And so we had the space, and, you know, we knew we couldn't let them stay in the conditions that they were in.
The dogs are not ready for adoption quite yet, but the APL is taking applications for adoption and fostering. A building more than 100 years old in Decatur was at risk of being torn down, but one group stepped up to save it. The Friends of the Lincoln Square Theater are fixing up the theater in hopes of making it a downtown destination. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays has more.
The Lincoln Square Theater was once a thriving business.
This is a community resource. It's an asset. It's historical. It's been here for a long time.
But with old age comes wear and tear. In May, the city posted a notice because bricks were falling off of the back of it. Repairs had to be made or the building could be demolished. But a group called Friends of the Lincoln Square Theater formed to stop that from happening.
We are trying to save the Lincoln Square Theater.
They're fixing the roof, exterior of the building, as well as painting and fixing up the inside.
We've started to remove the chairs from the inside so that we can get in and repaint the inside of the theater. But part of removing the chairs from the bottom floor is we're going to create new flexible seating on the main floor, which is going to allow us to do a lot more things with the theater than just having movies.
They're raising about $500,000 for repairs and renovations. The secretary of the organization says it's an investment that's worth it.
This is a symbol of Decatur. We didn't want to see it go away.
They're hoping to have the theater up and running by sometime next year. In Decatur, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Friends of the Lincoln Square Theater say they still need volunteers, sponsors, and donations to complete the project. A popular food truck in the CU area is shifting gears and leaving the state. People lined up at Urbana's Market at the Square this morning for a last chance to grab a breakfast sandwich from Cracked. The egg came first. The food truck has been around since 2012. We talked with someone waiting in line with her family who's going to miss that delicious food.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I was just telling them I love their sweet potato tater tots, so I'll be sad to watch those go.
The truck is moving to Gary, Indiana, but don't worry, you can still get their food at the brick and mortar location on Green Street. It's a special day for families in Sydney. The pumpkin patch is officially open for the season. You can buy pumpkins, gourds, squash, corn, as well as straw. They have sanitation stations set up around the farm to ensure the safety of others there. We spoke to one of the owners who says it's wonderful to see families on the farm again.
people want to come out and have some fun with us, come on out. But, for some people who are maybe more compromised with their health and are a little worried about it, we totally get it. I mean, stay home and protect yourselves. And at the end of the day, you got to look out for who you are and what you're doing. And we just want to have everyone happy and respect each other and,
The pumpkin patch will be open until Halloween, 7 days a week. They open at 9 a.m. and close at dusk. And Amelia, we're talking about pumpkin patches. I mean, we're finally at fall. It's, we're going to drop down with that.
Yeah, this weekend's a little bit hard to get into those festivities because those summer-like temperatures are really hanging on here, not only for today, but as we head into tomorrow as well at 82 degrees, we are going to be seeing some much-needed overnight showers that are going to continue into our Monday. I'll be tracking those showers and some cooler temperatures right after this.